Hey guys, and welcome to another brand new video. In this video, we actually have some really big PlayStation partnerships that actually got happen as of today with Sony. We also have some really big news when it comes to Xbox. We kind of touched on this a little bit on the prior video earlier on today, but I want to have a little bit of talk on this one too and kind of how it kind of relates to the PlayStation. But as well, we also had a really big confirmation of the big Xbox partnership also with PlayStation 2 as well. We just got a lot of a lot of stuff. We got a lot of stuff to go talk about. So we're gonna go, talk about it. So I would say today is a big win for PlayStation. Today seems like a big win for Xbox consumers, and overall I think I'm pretty happy with most things as of right this second. So hopefully you guys are too as well. So make sure you guys are subscribed with the notifications on. We have the Twitter and Twitch down below if you guys like to follow. We have the Weeble link too as well if you guys want to sign up, get a bunch of free stock and money on that one down below, and give me your thoughts and comments on all of this as well, because I like just having a chance to go hear your thoughts and read your thoughts. Probably go get just a good night, have a drink, and go and chill with you guys and watch all the comments. So if you guys want to, say hi down below. So first and foremost, we have kind of an intriguing one I want to go touch on over here. Let's do the first bigger, I guess, like normal news of the gaming. So there's some bigger stuff after this. Like this is not like the big announcement, where Microsoft has now confirmed the 4 titles over here coming to the Switch and Sony platform. So if you guys haven't had a chance to go and see this, we've had a lot of rumors, discussions on this, and Xbox kind of trying to go and spread out their wings. So number one, we have confirmed it seems like it's grounded. So this will be coming on the PS4, PS5, and the Switch as of April 16th, with also cross-play support. There's also Pendant, which I haven't heard too much about, and when I saw the news, I was like, oh, that's cool, but I'm not really hyped up about it. That's going to be on the PS4, PS5, and Switch on February 22nd. Now, one of the bigger ones I would say, and this isn't like insanely big news, a lot of folks assume this and rumor this, are the next two, which is Sea of Thieves, which is on PS5 on April 30th. Which also does have crossplay support. I would say this is kind of big. Now, Sea of Thieves isn't like the biggest game, isn't like the, like the most, oh my god, I could win. It's not like a Starfield. But at the same time, a lot of folks are assuming that Starfield and Halo and all these other games, they have a chance to come to PlayStation, or maybe even like after 6 months or a year after the initial release. Like people are now assuming and they basically said it from Xbox. If this goes good, we can make it happen. Like if people are if we're making money by putting Hi-Fi Rush on the PS5 or Sea of Thieves on the PS5, or the player base actually grows a lot, or a lot of good media attention, good reception, microtransactions, whatever it might be, we'll keep going and doing it. So I think this is one of those big things where people almost have to speak with their wallets. Although it's a little bit weird though, because some of these games are older. Like, I almost actually want to do a really quick Google search right now to go and see when Sea of Thieves came out. When did Sea of Thieves come out? Because it's been out for a while. It came out on March 20th of 2018. So at this point, this game's almost like a 6 years old game, which I'm almost kind of surprised that they just didn't want to go to do it on their actual anniversary. It'd been kind of a cool anniversary update instead of April 30th. But basically, the game has been out for a while, which I think does tone down the hype behind it. There has been updates and stuff like that, which makes it a bit nicer. But at the same time, some of these games are on the older side. Same with Hi-Fi Rush. It's not as old. It's a cool game. I really enjoyed it. It's on March 19th. As well for the PS5. Only PS5 for that one, probably just because the game is probably a little bit too graphically intensive for the Switch. Be able to come to the Switch later on or be a little bit more toned down. We'll have to see. But this has been at least confirmed too as well, which I think this is one of the big partnerships. This is not the big one though for PlayStation. And I want to hear your thoughts on all this. I think a lot of these games are good. Hi-Fi Rush, good game. Worth checking out. I liked it on Game Pass or on PS5. Do it. Grounded was also on still more of the laid-back side. It was very alpha-y, beta-y type game, very indie game, but the idea and concept was fun. The graphics were fun. You play with your buds and stuff. I enjoyed the experience. Pentiment 2 as well. I have no idea about it, but all these games are cool. So we'll have to go and see if Xbox users or people who enjoy the idea of these games will pick these up on PlayStation. I don't think sales will be really that big. I think Grounded, if it has a big update, will have a big nice spike on PlayStation. Hi-Fi Rush will have an okay reception. Pendant will probably do nothing because it's an indie game. No one really knows that much about it. And then Sea of Thieves is like a 50-50. There's somewhat of an active Sea of Thieves community already on Twitch, on the YouTube, and obviously people who just play the game overall. So I'm not really sure if that's going to do a lot for PlayStation or not, but there's potential. I think there's a lot of potential with it. So this is kind of one really big news. These are all confirmed now. We knew this was coming. It's good stuff to go and see. But as well, some kind of either bigger news too is in this one, and I kind of ramble on this level myself, is that Disney is now reaching a licensing deal with Sony Pictures Home Entertainment for DVD and Blu-ray releases of new in-catalog titles. Now, this is not 100% PlayStation, but bear with me on this kind of cooking, okay? Well, first and foremost, Disney is a big company, especially when it comes to the entertainment world. But what is one thing that Disney doesn't really have that much of a hold in? video games. Now, I'm not saying Disney has not made video games. They had that random, like, Animal Crossing-esque, like, Disney World thing where you basically had all these Disney characters and you lived there and you had to, like, you know, make the town nice and stuff. If you guys remember playing that one. There was also, obviously, Kingdom Hearts. There's a few, like, little smaller indie games. They've done, like, movie games throughout the years. Like, they're still around. They're still prevalent, but they're not, like, big. Like, Marvel, that's big, I would say, in the gaming sphere. Look at Wolverine, look at Spider-Man, look at their various games, look at the movies, etc. Like, they're, like, meant to be good. Or all those, like, kind of weird crossover mobile games that they're around. Disney does stuff, but not to the extent of success of other routes. So while this is a licensing deal, once again, focus on the licensing deal with Sony Pictures, which is also not PlayStation, I know, don't get me wrong, but I do kind of think if you have that already business connection and licensing rights, and you're already doing DVDs and Blu-rays, if you guys know corporate world, life world, whatever, if you can kind of sit there and be like, hey, you know, we're already making all these DVDs, we're making all these Blu-rays, we're getting some good money, hey, yo, we're Disney, we're Sony, like, we got the connections. Do you want to have a video game? And I do think this is where a lot of those kind of like either starts or trial runs can sometimes go and happen. Now, this does not mean it's going to happen because Sony Pictures is slightly different than PlayStation, but regardless, this is also good for Sony as a company. Obviously, if Sony has more of like a wiggle room to go and work on other games, make some other outside revenue, a little bit less pressure on the PlayStation, which, as you guys can probably see, the PlayStation not selling as well completely tanked the Sony stock this week. Horribly, like really bad. Like analysts are scared and worried about it because PlayStation's a way bigger portion and ratio of the company rather than Xbox. Like Xbox still makes good money off Xbox and Game Pass, but they make more money on other sides. PlayStation, though, is a way bigger profit driver, and while Sony does do the same, they have cameras, they have music, they have movies, PlayStation is also very, very large and bigger portion, because overall the company is smaller. But I think this is one of those things that might have some really good big wiggle room when it comes to Disney. Saying Disney has reached a licensing deal with Sony, under which the latter's home entertainment division will handle all Disney releases as well. It's also the latest sign of decline of physical disc trade, which is kind of on the same video we were talking about earlier on today, where a lot of Xbox might not be around for a while, like physical copies and Best Buy, Walmart, Target might be phasing out. Netflix's last fall unplugged its foundational disc by mail service, and revenue from disc sales has continued to decline markedly in the streaming era, as indicated this month in a 2023 recap as well. But this also might be a nice thing too to maybe drive more Disney-related media up on things like PlayStation, maybe having faster Disney Plus updates on the console, but either way, it's still like big. Apparently, though, disc sales and rentals are only just $1.6 billion, which is still okay, but in terms of the general like gaming sphere, that's really, really like just low. It's bad. So sources from the agreement, which is first reported by the website, The Digital Bits, said the new setup will operate on a licensing model. Sony will market, sell, and distribute new Disney releases, as well as catalog titles on DVD, Blu-ray, and 4K as well, and distribute it to the United States and Canada. And this is a big thing. This is like I want to focus here. The shift was part of a larger evaluation of Disney's strategy for reaching consumers and comes as the company is facing pressure from some investors to deliver more cost efficiencies. So how can you go make more money? How can you drive more revenue? How can you use your licensing rights a little bit better? Making brand new PlayStation games. Now, once again, this is a reach and speculation, don't get me wrong, but either way, it's still good for Sony to go and have bolstered up more diverse revenue sources too as well. And it's just fun to go and see. Also, trying to go and say streaming, however, has become the default option for most consumers in recent years. Disney is keenly focused as a company on finally achieving profitability in the coming months on flagship streaming services Disney Plus, which also would maybe be a nice upgrade for PlayStation users having more updates with it. Sony, meanwhile, is not a combatant in the streaming wars in the way its media peers have waged them. While it operates niche services like the growing anime outlet Crunchyroll, which I still think is a huge buy, the company has no general entertainment platform on its own and therefore approaches its studio business in a way differently too as well. So I think it's kind of nice. Like, this doesn't necessarily mean a one-to-one deal for PlayStation and Disney making games, but with LucasArts trying to go make that, say, Indiana Jones game, that's kind of a big deal, because like that already kind of shows they're kind of willing to go, and like these big businesses and older boomer companies are down to use their IPs. Disney has a lot of really good IPs. Or imagine like you've tried to go and do a simul launch with a cool Pixar game or whatever it might be, which they have done before. I always remember those movie games back in the day. So this might be like a start of a really strong partnership. I think it's good. Like, Disney is kind of underappreciated, underused, especially in the gaming sphere. So I'm kind of surprised on how this may go in the future. And as well, this is kind of nice. Also, last but not least, we also have been hearing confirmations that Call of Duty is coming to Game Pass 2. Maybe not the best thing for PlayStation users or a big PlayStation deal, but with the Xbox games coming, still nice. But at the same time, we are now seeing once again more confirmation that first-party titles are meant to launch on Xbox Game Pass, including Call of Duty. So all of us out here may really enjoy this. Like, and at the same time, I think this will be very, very nice to go and see. I want to be able to go play Call of Duty very cheaply on Game Pass, and I think it's a win regardless. And at the same time, if people are already paying for their subscription services, you know, might as well, man, might as well. So I give this a big thumbs up. I approve of this, and I think there's been a lot of really big deals as of today. Xbox games coming to PlayStation, Disney partnerships, like, I'm cool with this. Let me know your thoughts and comments down below. Make sure you guys are subscribed with the notifications on. We have the Twitter and Twitch stream down below in case you guys would like to go and follow. Sign up for that Weeble, deposit all the good stuff too as well, and I appreciate you all so much for watching here in the first place.